simultaneous experience of I am connected with all that exists?
I feel the worst enemy I have, and I think the worst enemy we have, is fear. Mm-hmm. Why is this enemy so powerful against us?
Fear comes from feeling separate. Fear comes from I'm alone. There is me and the world. But actually there's no such thing. You are the world. The world is in you. And you are in the world. You co-create each other. They are different expressions of, differentiated expressions of a deeper intelligence. When you know that, then there's peace. There's total peace, and there's comfort, and there is no anxiety, because anxiety comes from separation. You say, why is it so dominant in our world? It's part of the hypnosis of social conditioning. You know, that's how our media, that's how our advertising, that's how our products and our services, they're all about instant gratification for the skin-encapsulated ego.
In the Western world we live, it's little, sometimes I feel it's difficult to deal with that, because we are constantly receiving the influence of excess of stimulation, the most of the times in the wrong way.
Yeah, and especially if you receive it through childhood, then your little brain and the child thinks that's reality, unfortunately. So it's a deep hypnosis, and one has to be conscious of it. One has to take time to say, you know, just because it's all prevalent around me, and just because everybody's behaving like this, it doesn't mean it's normal. What we call normal is the psychopathology of the average.
And how can we protect our childhood, our children against
by
that?
being good examples. You know, children don't listen to lectures, they'll follow your lead.
Yeah, as a father, do you have children?
Yes, I have 2 grandchildren now.
2 grandchildren. So, well, as a father, I have a young kid. I always think that it's impossible to avoid making mistakes.
But that's fine. Mistakes. You learn from mistakes. You just don't have to repeat the same mistakes over and over again.
Well, I think that younger countries are like kids, like younger people. You know? Big opportunities and also big mistakes. And that happens a lot here. What's the vision of our country, of Argentina, or Latin America in general, in nowadays? What is...
Well, you see, the old countries also have a burden. Culture is a big burden, because when you have too much history, too much culture, then it overwhelms your creativity. And so, you know, just like you said, that young countries have so much creativity sometimes that it leads to anarchy and confusion. And old cultures have so much the burden of the past that they don't really embark on any creativity at all. I think we're moving in a new era now, where there will be the hybridization of a global collective intelligence. That's the only way to move forward, is to have cross-cultural understanding, to understand how the minds of different people work and think, to put everything in a context. There's cultural context, there's economic context, there's historical context, there's mythical context, there's religious context. We don't know this. You know, I just participated in a recent poll where we have for the first time surveyed more than 200 million Islamic people about everything, about values, about habits, about relationships, about sex, about spirituality, about war, about terrorism, about ecology. And that information is so important, because how do you negotiate with people or talk to people or have a dialogue with people if you don't even know what they're thinking and feeling? You know, if I, on the other hand, know How do you feel? What your observations are? How do you interpret your reality? What are your values? Then I have a chance of connecting with your heart and your mind. But we now live in a society where that should be possible. You know, instead of trying to solve all our conflicts through violence, you know, and belligerence and arrogance and militarism, which is very primitive and is no basis, you know, today with the intelligence that we have in the world to have to do that. It's like medieval, you know, and yet that's the only way we behave. And if we are going to move to the next stage of our evolution, we have to use our collective intelligence. There's a lot of intelligence in the world. It needs to be harnessed and connected.
Okay, let's take a break and we go on in a minute. En un minuto seguimos con Deepak Chopra. Gracias. Well, I was thinking, how can we learn about this? Where can we go? Where can we help? Where can we join? And I heard you speaking about the GSA, so you can explain us how's the work there and which are the goals in GSA?
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, we have a new foundation called the Alliance for the New Humanity. Mm-hmm. And we have a website in Spanish also and in English. The website is www.anhglobal.org. www.anhglobal.org.
Okay. It will be on the screen now.
Yeah, okay. Now, what this is it's an effort to create a global community, both online, but also virtually and actually geographically, of what we call the new planetary mind. There are a lot of people in the world who are doing amazing things for ecology, for conflict resolution, for women, for children, for human rights, for social justice, for helping the poor become economically free. So they're already doing it. You know, these are like neurons that are all over the planet. The goal is now to connect them. And once you connect them, what you see is, oh, so-and-so is doing this, so-and-so is doing this, so-and-so is doing this. First of all, you get inspired. The second thing is you say that, you know, maybe I can help this person, or maybe this person can help me. So first they come together, then they connect with each other. And once they connect with each other, they exchange information, they exchange inspiration, they morally support each other, and sometimes they come up with creative ideas for even helping each other financially. I think we think of our foundation as a dating service. You know, when you connect two people, you don't know what's going to happen. Okay, they may fall in love.
But they should meet.
Okay, but they should meet. Yeah. And so now we're saying is there's so many conscious people, so many conscious communities, so many conscious organizations that are doing so many things. They should meet. And once they meet, we don't know what can happen. Once you reach a critical mass of consciousness with people like this, the world could transform. You know, it took a few mothers to get together in America and say, you know, if somebody drives and they're drunk, that's against the law. Okay, it took a few people to say, you know, you cannot smoke in public places. And now, you know, many restaurants you can't smoke, at least in North America. It takes a few people to change the world, always. It's always been done by a few people. And what we feel is if we start to connect these people and create this critical mass of consciousness, a day may come when they say, you know, if this country goes to war, it's not part of the family of nations. We don't want to have anything to do with them. If they make weapons, if they trade in guns, if they are the biggest dealers of and agents of destruction on this planet, we don't want to have anything to do with them. That will happen. It'll become international law one day.